Started? Okay, well then let's get this party underway. Candidates for SGA Vice President are Marta Barova and Stephanie Roses. So we're going to start with Marta. We're going alphabetical order tonight.
Hi everyone, my name is Marta Barova. I'm a rising senior and this is my second year on the SGA E-Board. During this time I have served as your SGA peer officer, and together I've worked with 2 different E-Boards, and together we have organized different events like the Seven Sisters Conference, the Wiseman Leadership Conference, 5 College Tea and Dinner, Wormholes and Hot Cocoa, and there's so many more. I would like to continue serving you, and I would like to organize those events for you as your SGA Vice President. Why? Because I've been on E-Board for a long time, and I think I have a realistic vision for those events. For example, I would like to open up the Seven Sisters Conference to dedicated senators, and this could serve as an incentive for more people to get involved with Senate next fall. And in addition to my enthusiasm to get creative to organize those events for you, I'm also running because there's little things that I would like to see changed. For example, I have noticed that students often don't feel connected enough to their SGA, and this link shouldn't be broken. We are supposed to be representing you. That's why I want to restructure Wormholes and Hot Cocoa a little bit, make it more like an info session where students will be able to sit down with the E-Board and give us your concerns and ideas and suggestions for events like the Seven Sisters Conference, which we couldn't possibly open up to everyone. That's why it's important for you to be represented by us. And there is also events like the Wiseman Leadership Conference, which is open to everyone in the 5 College Network. So we need to make sure that it's really well advertised. And yeah, after all, you elect us to serve you, and we shouldn't forget that during the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Marta. Stephanie Roses.
Okay. Alright, hi, my name is Stephanie Roses. I'm a rising junior. I've been on SGA for 4 consecutive semesters as Hall Senator for Buckland and Porter Halls, and as the chair of organizations on E-Board with Marta. So we both have experience in E-Board. I guess I have 3 main goals for next year. I've been working really closely with this year's Vice President, Jess Azule, in several of our events. Like, we did the 5 College Tea and 5 College Dinner, where we bring all the SGAs from the 5 colleges together on campus to collaborate, make sure 5 colleges stay connected. We did those events together as point people, so I feel like I have experience putting stuff like that together. I'm really, really pumped for the Seven Sisters Conference next year. I want to open it up not only to the E-Board, which is usually what it's restricted to, but to interested students who want to help volunteer. We need lots of volunteers. And we could set up several events that interested students, not only in Senate, can attend, meet other people from the other Seven Sisters, and just all in all, experience what the E-Board and SGA can experience, even if they can't necessarily make it to Senate every week or be a part of SGA every day. I also want to continue our vision of a Seven Sisters Alumni Association. Part of the VP's job is to maintain ties with Weissman, with the CDC, with the Alumni Association, and one of our ideas at the Seven Sisters Conference, sort of unanimously agreed upon by the SGAs, was we want to connect alumni associations so we can pool our resources, and please vote for me. Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie. Marta, can you come back on the stage? And does anyone have any questions for SGA VP candidates? Anyone at all? Sarah.
What are your other time commitments besides SGA?
My other time commitments currently is crew, which that doesn't really conflict with much in the morning at 5 a.m. But I have that sleep schedule down too. And I also run a weekly volunteer program at the PEC school, which is an hour long on Wednesdays. It's really the other teams that figure that out. So those are my main commitments and some Res Life meetings, but I mean, we have E-Board times down too.
I think my main commitment is going to be being a senior. And other than that, SGA is my main commitment outside of academics. Thanks.
Tori, you're also to serve as ex officio member on the CDC committee. I was wondering if you could talk about any ideas you have for that or how you see your commitment playing into that as well.
I know that last year we worked on making this more accessible to students, the CDC programs, and I have experience with PR, like I made a new website for SGA, and I think that a lot of the CDC stuff has to do with publicity and getting it out there to people, and not just the emails that they're sending out. I don't mean the emails. I mean something more interesting to students.
Yeah, we've talked a fair amount about it in both Senate and E-Board, how the mass emailing of students doesn't really work because it just gets deleted, and how to make these opportunities open, like all the workshops, all the resume builders are really important. And I agree that it's a PR thing, but also just making the websites more accessible and easier to use. I know a lot of people have had trouble with those, and working with them to create a more streamlined system.
Jess?
If elected, what do you perceive as your biggest challenges, and how would you overcome them?
I guess out of my goals, the largest challenge is a Seven Sisters Alumni Association. Our Seven Sisters Alumni Associations have been running swimmingly by themselves for a while now, and to convince people that they could possibly change their old system to create either a new system or a sort of exterior system that would combine the resources is going to be the hardest part. I don't expect to have it all done by the end of next year, but to have a running start so that SGAs will have a solid foundation in the future to finish it. I know that the other Seven Sisters were really excited about it too, and if we can get it running with all of those other student leaders, I think we can make it happen.
I already talked about one of my big goals, fixing the links between SGA and students, and I think that this is a really big goal and a challenge. And I hope that I will be able to achieve that. I already told you about wormholes and at Coco, and I would like to have something like informational flyers about SGA just to make students feel more connected, because everyone has different interests, and those interests do not necessarily translate into the ideas of leadership or SGA or student government, but you are leaders in those spheres of interest, and SGA has so many resources for so many of those interests that I would like for you to know about those. Thanks.
All right, I think that's all the time we have for the VPs. Thank you, ladies.